I couldn't tell you.
You don't pay attention to it. Sure, not at all. One of you guys find out and yell it out for me. That'd be great. You know, I can't be.
They're doing it right now.
Yeah, I know. Just see everybody.
Front,
So, give us a sense, because it actually, in my research, kind of hard to get a sense of the size of your business. The estimates range sort of from $100 million to several $100 million in revenue. And I know you're not going to tell me, so I'm just going to guess 250. And tell me how it breaks down.
Look at my body language for a reaction.
No, I'm just looking straight down here. 250. Give me a sense of how your revenue streams break down. You have a you're not just
one. Very fortunate to have diverse revenue streams, all of which I think can over time, scale. Ad sales. We have a pretty robust marketing solutions ad sales business. We offer premium subscriptions and hiring solutions, which is largely about enabling recruiters to find the perfect candidate. And in 2009, those businesses were, over the aggregate of 2009, pretty evenly weighted. As we exited 2009 and the economy started to show some signs of life, the hiring solutions business really started to take off. And that continued into 2010. So hiring solutions is our largest and fastest growing business, and arguably the most disruptive of the businesses that we're in.
So you provide sort of access to the professional social graph for people who are responsible for bringing talent into companies.
That's exactly right. It's not just for bringing talent into companies, it's also making sure the talent you've already got in your company is set up to be successful. So the way we describe that is LinkedIn connects talent with opportunity at massive scale. Scale that was never possible before because we didn't have infrastructure that enabled us to connect theoretically hundreds of millions of people around the world. And we didn't see the kind of behavior that we're seeing today, say 10, 15, 20 years ago, where people are now online. They are presenting themselves with professional identity, where you started. They're managing their networks of former colleagues, business contacts, current colleagues, and they're sharing information and knowledge within a professional context in unprecedented ways.
How do you measure engagement on the site? Yesterday, Mark said that one of the things he was sort of astonished by was that still, even as Facebook has scaled to over 500 million users, half of them still come back every day. And for him, that was an important measure of engagement. What's your important measure or measures of engagement?
Fairly traditional. Certainly it starts with membership and membership growth. We're at about 85 million members now. We're adding a member a second, which in absolute terms, that member per second is the fastest it's ever been. So to put that in perspective, it took us about 477 days to add our first million members. It took us roughly 9 days to add our last million members. And we've seen very fast growth overseas. Over half of that membership now comes from overseas. Unique users, we're close to about 60 million users. I think Comscore has about 57 million in September. We're looking forward to seeing the October numbers. Frequency, the rate with which people are coming back. Less so on time spent, largely because we're a site that exists to make our membership more productive and successful. And so for us, it's not about passing the time, it's about saving time.
You're not going to be doing a big photo sharing action.
Not unless it's going to help you become better at what you do professionally speaking. So for the
I don't know if most of the photos on Facebook would do that.
Yeah.
So and I'm sorry, but it's the elephant in the room, or that was in the room. So let me ask you about Facebook. When we talked to Mark yesterday, he was really excited and engaged about a number of announcements that sort of came, if I can paraphrase and condense. All they want to do is create a platform so that vertical industries can leverage the Facebook social graph. So you could build a vertical industry in commerce, for example, or a vertical in ISO, how might Groupon or feel about that, and a vertical industry in gaming we discussed. So what about a vertical industry using the Facebook social graph in professional identity? Can we have one ring to rule them all?
I think it would be challenging. I think there are certainly going to be industries and verticals where it makes sense to build on that kind of horizontal platform, social utility platform. I think, though, context matters. And I think when it comes to networking, there's essentially three ways to organize and leverage your network. There's the personal, there's your family, and there's the professional. And of course, there's going to be overlap there. but we're solely focused on professional brand. And time again, we hear that people want to keep, for the most part, their personal lives and their professional lives separate. And having been asked this quite a bit, and we've given this a lot of thought, I think I can explain it in 2 words at this point.
The difference between a professional social graph and a friend's social graph?
And why it's so important to keep them separate.
2 words.
2 words. And the 2 words are keg stand.
Keg stand.
Keg stand. So show of hands, how many people know what a keg stand is in the audience? Not that many. How many people have actually done a keg stand in the audience?
Okay, well see, now we just blended the peanut butter and the chocolate right there.
So for those that don't know, you have probably been at parties back in your school days where a keg stand was taking place. Someone was being held upside down in proximity to a keg and was actually drinking directly from the keg in the aforementioned handstand or headstand position. That's the keg stand.
And it was probably also coming out their nose.
Yeah, or other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to go into the graphic detail, but the reason I cite that as an example is the cautionary tale. So while many of us in college probably were at parties having a good time doing things like keg stands or being exposed to keg stands, I don't know that many of us would look forward to having a prospective employer have access to pictures of those events. And it's just one example. You can fill in the 2 words, it's like a Rorschach test. What came to mind when I said
Bong hit.
Bong hit. Okay, well that's a Bay Area guy. I'm doing keg stands. I'm from the East Coast. I think that's an East West thing.
You asked, I answered.
Well, you know what's funny? Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps. Perfect example. An image being taken because that's what
It did hurt his professional career. I mean, not his swimming career. It hurt his endorsement deals. Yeah. Of course, Timmy Lincecum, on the other hand.
Well, that's West Coast, East Coast once again. Tim actually did better as a result. Pull down the side.
That's right. Okay, well, we went. There was a bit of we went down an alley there, and we tried to pull us back to the main road here. So, in other words, we wouldn't expect necessarily that you're going to wholeheartedly embrace, an open graph interconnect between LinkedIn and Facebook.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the value that we could create for members as a result from that, and the value we could create at LinkedIn sustainably over time. I think when it comes to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, I think people have a tendency to lump all 3 of us and others into a category called social networking. And I don't think that's the case. I think in those 3 examples, you have 3 emerging social platforms leveraging social connectivity and social interaction to create value. I think in the case of Facebook, we're talking about something of massive scope that's largely oriented around social utility. And killer apps include things like social gaming, sharing pictures and stuff that we've been talking about up here, status updates. Twitter is a public communication platform. And the following taking place on Twitter is largely about broadcasting, microcasting your messaging. A lot of the following is asymmetrical. Just because I'm following you doesn't mean you're following me. We're not connected. But that's about letting people know what you're up to, 140 characters or less. LinkedIn is a professional network.
And all these are vertical networks, right? They're developing their own relationship graph of some kind or another.
It's all relative. So I think Facebook and Twitter are certainly horizontal, where verticals can slot in. I think LinkedIn's taken a horizontal approach to one of those very large verticals, which is professional interaction, and fundamentally transforming the way people work.
LinkedIn, until recently, hasn't been particularly, I guess the word might be portable. In terms of creating tools that create an open platform that people can say, I can, at the sites of Federated Media, I can say, hey, bring your LinkedIn identity. Because almost all of the sites, certainly in one half of Federated's business, are professional business, technology related. Maybe there's some way of creating a tool for all of those partners of ours so that you can have your LinkedIn identity hanging out on your shoulder when you're at that site. Is this something that you want to address, or do you see no reason to do it?
No, absolutely. Ultimately, we want to work wherever our members are working. We don't want them tethered to a desktop, and we don't want them tethered to LinkedIn.com. That doesn't make sense for them. So we want to push out the functionality to the greatest extent possible and make it ubiquitous. Ultimately, if you're seeking to connect with another professional, if you want to access another professional's identity, if you want to do business with them, bring them an opportunity, we want you to be able to leverage some of our tools and some of our assets. So one of the ways we do that is by more aggressively investing in our APIs. and pushing those APIs out. We're starting to see some pretty good traction on that front. You may see some of that with some of the partners that you work with, where, for example, on Amex and the Open Forum, you'll see somebody's name, you can roll over that name, and then you'll get a mini profile, what we call a mini profile on LinkedIn. You'll be able to click through and fundamentally do business with them.
So you've done some interesting things. I mean, one of the things you guys should know about Jeff and I is that we really sort of first locked, brains around search. And you were Yahoo, and Yahoo was doing a lot of search when you were, you had to do the integration when they bought 4 or 5 different search assets over the course of a couple of years. You've done something interesting with search at LinkedIn, which you call Signal.
Yeah.
Give us a sense of what that is and how it's doing, because it's only about a month old, right?
Yeah, it's a closed beta. We're going to be opening that up soon. But we're really excited about Signal because I think it demonstrates an approach that we're taking to follow this. I think everyone would agree that given the unprecedented levels of sharing we're now seeing, information, knowledge, opinions, ideas, that it's taken information overload to a whole other level. I mean, we thought as an industry there was information overload when the directories first came around and were helping us organize the web. Those were tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, single-digit millions of websites. And Google comes around and starts indexing everything that's digital. Now you're talking about billions and tens of billions of objects. And with these social platforms, you've got billions of shares taking place a day. Billions of social artifacts. And so if we thought we saw information overload previously, we haven't seen anything yet. And as you know, we've only scratched the surface. So whereas in the past, I think as an industry, we focused quite a bit on relevancy, extracting the signal from the noise. And in each of those ways, whether it was the portal, the search engine, or now the emerging social platforms, I think it's those companies that extract the most signal from the noise, or in this case, the most signal from the stream, that create the most value. And so Signal is literally named after that dynamic. Layering a professional lens, what company somebody works at, what industry they work in, on top of searching real-time status messages or tweets through an integration that we do with Twitter, which completely changes the relevancy of the information you now have access to.
So you're using the professional identity as a filter to understand what corpus of data? The corpus that is LinkedIn, or can you turn the signal, for example, against a Google search API?
Well, right now, it's based on the status updates taking place within LinkedIn, and more broadly speaking, ultimately all the updates, and a Twitter integration. So if you're on Twitter and on LinkedIn, you can actually bind your account, which you've done. That's actually how I follow you, John.
Right.
And you have a tendency to tweet things that are professionally relevant. And because I'm exposed to that within LinkedIn, and because LinkedIn is solely about professional context, there's a signal inherent in that just by virtue of being focused on the professional. And Signal, I think, enhances that and takes that further.
Signal happens to be the name of a newsletter that I started about 6 months ago. So
there you go.
I'll see you in court. I'll see you in court, buddy. I wanted to ask you another question because it's been a theme throughout the past 2.5 days. And we opened with Eric Schmidt, and Google, the news had just leaked that Google was paying in 2011, they're going to give their entire employee base a 10% raise. And it makes for good headlines in the sort of, pundit sphere when someone big leaves one place and goes to another. And it seems to be only heating up. And this is sort of comes under the category of talent wars. I asked Carol Bartz, why would an engineer work for Yahoo as opposed to a pre-IPO company like LinkedIn? So this question is in the air. Given where you stand and that you have a big business in essentially talent, what trends are you seeing and what insights can you give to the audience about what's happening out there?